Let's talk some Eagles here. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. My name is Chase Sr. It is a Wednesday evening on September 3rd, which means we're about 24 hours away from Eagles-Cowboys Thursday night at the Link. Banner night for the Birds, and we'll be doing a watch party for that game right here on the channel. I hope to see all of you there, but so excited to see Philadelphia in action. Great rivalry game to kick off the NFL season. Always an honor to be that first NFL game to start the slate off, and that's what happens when you're the defending Super Bowl champions. Before we get into everything that I want to get into, though, on today's show, and there's so much to talk about, some positive developments on the injury front. Looks as though 2 starting spots are settled in the secondary. Plus, I want to take a look at ESPN's predictions for the Eagles heading into this year. We're doing all types of content here on the channel. Daily Birds content for diehard Eagles fans. If that interests you, if you like what you're seeing here, hit that subscribe button. But earlier today, looked at the projected Eagles starters based on the team's first unofficial depth chart after the 53rd-man roster came out. Check that video out. I'm going to pin the link for that show on this video. And if you comment over there, Chase, I'm going to interact with you over there tonight, and we can talk some ball in the comments section. Also, be on the lookout for this. Tomorrow morning, my final Eagles versus Cowboys preview. I'm joined by our Cowboys host, Tom Downey. You like two-man shows, you like collaborations with other content creators, insight from the opposition. You can wake up to that video tomorrow morning right here on Eagles Now, as tomorrow it'll officially be a Philadelphia Eagles game day. Let's dive into the show here. We begin on the injury report. Number 1, Landon Dickerson, listed as a full participant at practice today. You know what that means? He is starting. He is full go. He will play in the midnight green for the Eagles tomorrow night. And a big key to this game that I've talked about all week, the Eagles being able to establish and find success on the ground with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Will Shipley, against a Cowboys rushing defense that last year was pretty much bottom 5 in every major statistical category. You're just a better ball club when the Bulldog, the big boy, Landon Dickerson, is at that left guard spot. He's also a great emotional leader for this football team. In between the lines, in the locker room, on the sideline, how many times last year also did we see him firing everybody up with some passionate pregame speeches? He has really emerged as a special leader on this Eagles team. So just as impactful as he is as a player, he's so impactful as a leader. It's a reason why Philadelphia made him the highest paid guard in the history of the NFL, or at least in the NFL at the time when he signed that contract last year. They really, really value him on all fronts. Elsewhere on this Eagles injury report, this is big. A.J. Brown, also a full go. He missed about 3 weeks of practice because of that hamstring injury. He did return to practice the other day, but he's not even listed on this injury report. So I guess I shouldn't say elsewhere on the injury report because he's not on it. But he is full go. He is 100% healthy, and he's ready to rock for this Eagles passing attack. And when he's on the field, this Eagles offense is so much different, so much better, so much more lethal, so much more dangerous, so much more difficult to stop. The Eagles win-loss record backs that up. They've been an incredible team when A.J. Brown starts and plays games. It's also evidenced by things like points per game and efficiency numbers and overall passing numbers. That's why A.J. Brown, in my eyes, is a top 3 wideout in the game. You know, he impacts the offense, the team, the game, just by being a receiver. But the mere threat of him being out there and how he makes everybody else better results in winning. You know, a lot of wideouts can put up stupid numbers, but A.J. Brown is doing things to impact the game in a variety of ways. And he's so impactful to a point where when he's out, that weighs heavily on Philadelphia. Here's what he said about missing part of camp. And again, I think he missed 21 or so days of training camp because of that hamstring injury. Quote, "It was definitely challenging. I was definitely doing what I was told, taking care of myself each and every day, stay up to beat with the plays. I was working my mind more than physical during camp, but I'm ready to go, and we're ready to go." So that just explains it all right there, right? wants to be out there, loves the craft, loves the grind, loves the process. That has resulted in him being a great route runner, great with his hands, an all-around wide receiver. But when he's not able to practice, what is he doing? Finding ways to get better, finding ways to be impactful individually and for the team. He said, yeah, I'm working on my mind more than I am my body. And he has been outspoken about mental health and why it should be valued and taken seriously and his own struggles with it. But we also saw A.J. Brown during training camp throwing passes to his receivers, helping practice drills go on and continue and progress. He's just in it, and he's fully immersed with the game of football. And again, like Landon Dickerson, these things matter. Culture matters. Leaders matter. And when you have guys who are like that, it's contagious. It rubs off on teammates. Other people take note of that. They change their process and how they go about things. And the Eagles' culture, the leadership council in place, the organizational stability, the high character guys that they have top to bottom in this organization. A big reason why. Since 2000, the Eagles have been one of the best organizations in the game, and obviously over the last several years, why they've been the class of the NFL, arguably, 2 rings since 2017. This is also pretty interesting on the Eagles injury report here. Tanner McKee, he's out for tomorrow night. So he is not going to be the backup quarterback against Dallas. It will be Sam Howell. That is why Howie Roseman traded for Sam Howell. A lot of starting experience. Got enough time to at least learn some of this offense so that he can run it in an emergency situation. But Tanner McKee not going to be ready. And we'll monitor this as well. Kyle McCord is on the practice squad. You can't be the emergency quarterback from the practice squad. And so if the Eagles elevate him for game day, it's going to require a roster move. We'll keep an eye on that. Jalen Carter, full participant. Andrew Mukuba, full participant with the hamstring. Josh Uche, full participant with the groin injury. Arrow pointing up for Philadelphia on the injury front. And under Nick Sirianni's watch, man, they have been one of the healthiest teams across the NFL. One more thing before we get to our sponsor for today's show. According to Jeff McLane of the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Eagles will be starting Adoree Jackson at cornerback 2 and Sidney Brown at the safety spot opposite of Reed Blankenship. And so we had an indication this was happening. I talked about this the other day on the show with Adoree Jackson. Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, they haven't really been able to, or willing to, reveal who is going to start at corner 2, safety 2, and inside linebacker 2. We still don't know who will start alongside Zach Baum. But according to McLane, who's obviously very tapped into this organization, Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown going to start against the Dallas Cowboys. With Adoree, don't have a lot of confidence in him. The Cowboys have one of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Kevontae Turpin. He'll be tested right away. And I think the leash will be pretty short because I think Jacorian Bennett, if not soon, at some point, going to be able to take his job. He's just the better, higher upside player. Of note on the Eagles depth chart, Kelee Ringo, 3rd string. So it's Adoree Jackson, Jacorian Bennett, and then Kelee Ringo. Adoree's been a veteran in this league, played since 2017, and he's just okay. He's just an okay player. What I would have loved Howie Roseman to do, just pay Isaiah Rodgers. He got $7 million from Minnesota. He's going to start over there under Brian Flores. Whenever he was asked to play last year, he played awesome. He helps you on special teams, so that's a two-way impact right there. But the Eagles let him go, let Darius Slay go, went with Adoree Jackson. Sidney Brown starting at safety. I think Andrew Mukuba is going to be mixed in. Sidney Brown's a thumper. He's a downhill guy. He will knock your helmet off, run through you. He is not going to shy away from contact. How's he going to hold up in coverage? You know, he was a 4.4 guy coming out of Illinois in the pre-draft process, and so he can run pretty well. Not that ACL is a rookie, but I thought last year on special teams he played well. Kind of got beat on the Xavier Worthy long touchdown, I believe. because him and Tristan McCullum were in the game, I think, during Super Bowl 59. But we know that he can stop the run. We know that he can hit. We know that he's physical. How does he hold up in coverage? Does he over-pursue? Can he throttle down? I'll be watching that for Sidney Brown. All right, our sponsor for this edition of Philadelphia Eagles Now, brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks, very simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks puts their users first. All withdrawals, fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits right into your account this football season. Test out your sports knowledge with Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use the code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Here's how the game works. Let's say Saquon Barkley, more or less than 1 rushing touchdown. You want to choose more? Then you choose more. Joe Burrow, more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns. You want to pick less or more? You pick more or less. Use the code CLNS, get $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. We appreciate them for making today's show possible. All right, ESPN's Eagles predictions for 2025, about 24 hours away from kick. They have the Birds as the second best team on their power rankings list behind the Baltimore Ravens. I think Philadelphia should be first. Baltimore is really good. Can Lamar Jackson at some point finally please beat Patrick Mahomes in an AFC championship game? I mean, my goodness. It's about time. Josh Allen, can you do it? Joe Burrow did it once to make it to the Super Bowl. But the Eagles, number 2 on the ESPN power rankings. Chances to make the playoffs, 76.1%. For Baltimore, 78.6%. Chances to win the division for the Birds, 56%. Hasn't been a repeat winner in the NFC East since 2004. Projected wins, according to their model and their forecast, 10.3. Strength of schedule, 4th hardest in the NFL. And last year, the Eagles went 14-3. Biggest strength per ESPN, the exceptional run game. Offensive Player of the Year Saquon Barkley became the all-time leading rusher for a single season, including the playoffs, while powering the Eagles to their second Super Bowl. He operates behind the best offensive line in football, returning 4 of 5 starters. You couple that on the ground with receivers like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts, you have an offense with a very high ceiling. Those are facts from Tim McManus. The biggest concern from McManus, replacements in the secondary. Eagles parted with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay, unable to clearly identify their replacements this summer. That's true. Veteran Adoree Jackson seems to have gained the edge on Keely Ringo, but didn't run away with the job. Maybe Jacorian Bennett or rookie McWilliams will claim the spot opposite of Quinyon Mitchell at some point. Andrew Mukuba flashed brightly in his preseason debut, but has been hampered by injuries. That's opened the door for Sidney Brown to win the job, at least temporarily. Also facts. Biggest concerns with this team, it's the uncertainty and the unknowns in the secondary. QB stat to know. To fill the role of offensive coordinator after Kellen Moore became the Saints head coach, the Eagles promoted Kevin Patullo, who served as the team's pass game coordinator each of the past 4 years. Over that span, this is for the Jalen Hurts haters and casuals, Hurts ranked 4th in QBR when using motion, behind only Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Brock Purdy. Last year, Kellen Moore brought motion to the Eagles' offense. Hurts played a lot better. Hopefully that continues, and hopefully it even increases. How to win your fantasy league. I like this, man. Devontae Smith. A lot of breakout chatter around Smitty. McManus saying the wide receiver has finished each of the past 3 years as a top 20 wideout in PPR scoring. Yes, the offense in Philly is run heavy with Barkley, and Smith will remain the number 2 opposite of Brown. However, he averaged 7.1 targets per game in 2024, while averaging 14.4 points per game, including 4 games with 22 or more points. He is a fantasy wide receiver 3 in an offense that will move the ball and produce touchdowns. I like that. That's actually from Matt Bowen, I think his name is. Bold prediction for 2025. I like this as well. I've been on this for months. It's a Moro Ojomo breakout. Defensive tackle Moro Ojomo has 0 career sacks. He will record, that's the ESPN prediction, at least 5 sacks and finish in the top 10 in pass rush win rate. We saw the success Milton Williams had playing next to Jalen Carter, and there are already positive signs for Ojomo. He posted a 13% pass rush win rate at defensive tackle last year that would have ranked 7th at the position had he played enough to qualify. He's going to break out. Dude's a stud. All right, that is tonight's Philadelphia Eagles now. Final Eagles-Cowboys preview coming out tomorrow morning. Live for a watch party. Post-game reaction after that. It's here, baby. Let's go, Birds.